welcome back to First Impressions Fridays. This is a series where I try out a new productivity app for just one day and just share my initial thoughts and setup. And in today's video, I'm going to be trying out an app called Inkdrop. This is a markdown-based text editor that actually was built by a solo developer. So let's not waste any more time, let's go and check it out. Alrighty, let's go. Alright, so I am on the home page and let's see what we've got here. So this app is a bit different from the others in that it is mostly a text editor. So it won't have fancy Kanban boards or different productivity features, but of course you can customize it for yourself. And looks like they have cross-platform support, which is awesome. So this kind of reminds me of a setup like Evernote, where the left bar is all of the folders and organization, the middle-ish section is all of the notes in that category, and the right side is the actual note. So for software engineers or developers, Markdown is really great because you can embed things like code. That's actually something that I mentioned in last week's video because I wish that Cascade had Markdown editing. It has a bunch of plugins. Create a plugin? Oh, I'm good. So Vim key bindings, I'm good without that. Mermaid, oh. Yeah. I actually really like this idea of plugins because it means that right out of the box, the app is not necessarily bloated with all of these different features or capabilities that you might not want to use. It syncs data securely with end-to-end encryption. The other thing that I want to talk about while we are on the website is the developer. So let's do a little stalking, shall we? Okay, cool. So he worked at Yahoo for 2 years and then started working as a freelancer and on Inkdrop. So it's awesome that he was able to find his passion really early on and just dived into it. Oh man, now I want ramen. Oh. Okay, cool. So their MRR as of March was 800,000 yen to USD. Oh my god. Oh wow. So he is making $7,000 plus in MRR every single month from Inkdrop. And that's really amazing. Now I feel more personally invested and probably I'll become more biased towards Inkdrop because I see this person's story and this person's passion towards building this. So with that, now let's actually go and try out the app. There's a 60-day free trial. Download app. Alright, we are into the app, so let's do some exploring, shall we? We first click settings. I really like how much customization there is even just on the level of the text editor. Things like showing line numbers, picking how many spaces there are in an indent, the font family. That is quite a bit of customization that you might be used to, especially if you are a developer and care about the number of spaces in your tabs. I wonder if you can preview this in the formatted style. Oh yeah, okay. That was easy. The last thing I want to test out before I go and play with this on my own is how to use these plugins. How do we do that? Explore plugins. Oh no. Oh no. Why? Yo. Let's try one more time. Wait! Yes! I got the plugin to work. So it is 7:30 right now, so I am going to hop off, go play with Yogi a little bit, and check this out a little bit later. So yeah. Hello, I am back and it actually is 2 days after because my Wi-Fi yesterday was just horrible. It was like I was living in the Stone Age. So I do have a couple of notes, and the first here is the plugins. Once you figure out the plugin that you want, you open up Terminal and just run that IPM command. And then in plugins, we can see here that we got the math plugin, and somehow this worked right away. What I found to be the best option first is to just go to a different note and come back, and if not, quit out of the app and restart it, and usually by then it will work. And what you can also do is look in the community for discussions about plugins. For example, I want to see if there's any talk about Notion and integrating Notion with Inkdrop, and I found this page here. The same person made this plugin to import Notion pages into Inkdrop and preserve some of the formatting. So it's really cool that even though this app is built by a solo developer, the community contributes a lot to making this app even better than it already is. It has really powerful syntax highlighting, so you can really see a nice dynamic preview of how the code looks. I know that a lot of people are super passionate about Vim, and this is great because you can pretty much enable the Vim plugin and then navigate through your note as if you have Vim enabled. Is that right? Each page has this active status. There also is this nice task progress bar, as we saw in the Cascade video. On every note, you can see this little loop thing here, which is the revision history. So this allows you to see, I think, like every commit hash for a certain note. So the other app that really reminded me of Inkdrop was Bear, which is what I actually use as my note-taking app when I was an engineer. But one thing is that Bear doesn't have version history. And the last thing that I want to bring up is the security aspect of this app and its end-to-end encryption. So all end-to-end encryption really means, in layman terms, is that Inkdrop will never get access to your notes. And even as such an early stage app, Inkdrop does support this, and they're really upfront about it because, of course, again, engineers are people who would care about this because we know more about security. We, as in everyone but me. Yeah, since this is a bit of a different app from the ones I've talked about before, it will be a little bit trickier to grade fairly, but let's give it a shot. Let's head over to the iPad and see how this one compares to the previous apps I've tried out. So the first category is ease of use, which just means how easy is this app to get started with. And here I would give it a 1. So firstly, the demo is really nice if you just want to start using this app without making a proper username and account. And because this does use Markdown, which is somewhat standard nowadays, it's really easy to get started with. But if you've never used Markdown before, you will be a little bit frustrated because you can't just write out your notes in a rich text editor like you might with Evernote. And similarly with the plugins, if you don't know how to use Terminal or the plugins don't work at the right time, it can get frustrating. Now let's talk about flexibility. So flexibility just means how can this be customized for different types of users. So as I mentioned before, this is an app that was built for developers. That being said, at the end of the day, this is a text editor, so it really isn't that big of a deal if you don't have that type of a background. So for that reason, it kind of falls in the middle of the road. Now let's talk about features. So features means either how unique is its feature set or how diverse are the features that this offers. What does make this unique is the fact that it's tailored towards developers, so it'll set itself apart from apps like either Evernote or Bear. It has a lot of really unique and small features that I really appreciate. Things like the plugins, like that little progress bar, like the tags that you can make, the active status, the version history, the themes, all of those things set this apart very slightly from the rest. So for that, I would give it a 1.5. So the next category is productivity boost, which means how does this help me get things done faster? Does it make me more productive? And here I would give it a 1.5 again. Why is it 1.5? Sometimes having less is more, and that's how I feel with Inkdrop. Because there isn't that much going on with this app, you can really focus on just what you want to do without being bombarded by extra features that you have to think about how to structure. Here, there's not really much thinking because there's not really much here, so you can focus on what you're doing. And that's really what makes this category of app really great. For someone who doesn't care about all those things and just wants a place to write down their notes and not have to worry about them, then this is great. It'll really work for you. So the next category is feel, which is just the generic catch-all for all my other feelings about this app. And here I would give it a 2. So the first thing that I like is the UI. I like that there are different themes and different customization options, but at the same time, the customization is somewhat limited, so you're not going to be overwhelmed by all these decisions to make. Now, the next point is the pricing model. And now here the pricing is a little bit unique and different from apps like Supernotes and Tascade in that instead of limiting the amount of storage that you get for free, they're just giving you 60 days to try out the app in full before you commit to paying the monthly $5. I actually kind of prefer this option because you know what you're getting into, and when you are trying out the free plan, you can try out the app in its entirety and make it as full-fledged as you want before committing to paying. And of course, the last thing that I can't forget is the fact that this is built by one solo developer. And so being able to follow his story through Instagram or his blog or his YouTube channel and seeing how involved he is in like the community forum and just talking to his users makes me feel really confident in the future of this app. So yeah, kudos for him for making such a great app by himself that requires a lot of motivation and persistence. And yeah, let's all give a round of applause to the founder for just making this. That's really awesome. So if we were to total this, the total would be 7 out of 10. Cool. So yeah, pretty good, I would say. So yeah, that is Inkdrop. What do you think about this app? I know I have a lot of engineers who watch my channel, so I want to know if any of you are planning on switching over to this app now that you've seen it. If I had discovered this last year when I was working as an engineer, I definitely would have used it because my go-to last year was Bear, but this is like Bear but on steroids. But yeah, I hope that you are enjoying this series, and if you have any other apps you'd like me to try out, please let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a big like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Ole, ole, ole. Yeah.